Researchers spent decades traveling to the places on Earth where people live the longest. They expected to find different answers in every location, different superfoods, different genetics, different supplements. What they found instead stopped them completely. Five completely different cultures, five completely different cuisines, five completely different climates, and one pattern that appeared in every single location without exception. It was not a food. It was not a supplement. It was not something you need to buy. And it is something most people in the modern Western world stopped doing decades ago, without ever realizing what they gave up. In this video, I'm going to take you through what researchers found in Sardinia, Okinawa, the Nicoya Peninsula, Ikaria, and Loma Linda, and reveal the one pattern that appeared in every single location, regardless of culture, language, religion, or cuisine. And I am going to show you exactly how to bring that pattern back into your life, starting this week. As always, nothing in this video is medical advice. Always consult your physician before making any changes to your diet or health routine. Before I reveal the pattern, I need to give you the context that makes it make sense. In the early 2000s, National Geographic researcher Dan Buettner partnered with the National Institute on Aging and a team of demographers and epidemiologists to identify the regions on Earth with the highest concentrations of people living past 90 and 100 in good health. Not just living long, living well, mentally sharp, physically active, without the chronic disease burden that defines aging in the Western world. They found 5 locations. They called them blue zones. Sardinia in Italy, specifically the mountainous Barbagia region, with the highest concentration of male centenarians on Earth. Okinawa in Japan, home to the longest-lived women ever documented. The Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, where men in their 90s still work physically demanding jobs on small farms. Ikaria in Greece, an island where researchers noted that residents simply forgot to die, a place where dementia rates are a fraction of what they are in the rest of Europe. And Loma Linda in California, a community of Seventh-day Adventists who live on average 7 to 10 years longer than their American neighbors. 5 locations, thousands of miles apart, no shared genetics, no shared cuisine, no shared culture. And yet when the research team looked at what these populations had in common, the list was surprisingly short. The team documented 9 common factors across all 5 blue zones: plant-heavy diets, regular low-intensity movement, strong social connections, a sense of purpose, stress reduction, rituals, moderate alcohol consumption in some, not all, locations, spiritual practice, family priority, and belonging to a tribe of people who shared the same values and behaviors. These 9 factors became known as the Power 9. But here is where the research gets more interesting, because when researchers looked specifically at the dietary patterns across all 5 locations, not just what people ate, but how they ate, one pattern emerged that none of the researchers had specifically set out to find. Every single blue zone population practiced some form of caloric restriction, not through dieting, not through counting calories, not through any conscious effort, but through deeply ingrained cultural habits around the timing and quantity of eating. In Okinawa, the tradition is called Hara Hachi Byu, a Confucian teaching that instructs people to eat until they are 80% full, not until the plate is empty, not until they feel stuffed, but until the hunger is mostly but not completely gone. This single habit produces an automatic caloric restriction of approximately 20% below the Western average. Over a lifetime, that 20% difference compounds into something the research now shows directly affects cellular aging. In Sardinia, the main meal of the day is lunch, not dinner, a large midday meal followed by a period of rest, a light evening meal eaten early, typically before 7 p.m. The overnight fasting window that results is consistently 13 to 14 hours. In Ikaria, the pattern is similar: late morning start to eating, main meal midday, light evening meal, long overnight fast. In Nicoya, the largest meal is consumed before noon. Dinner is the smallest meal of the day. Eating after dark is culturally uncommon. In Loma Linda, the Adventist community follows a pattern of early eating. Breakfast as the largest meal, a moderate lunch, and in many cases no evening meal at all. Write that down. Every blue zone population, regardless of what they eat, eats earlier in the day. eats less in the evening, and maintains a consistent overnight fasting window of 12 to 16 hours. Now, here's why this matters specifically for adults over 60. Research published in Cell Metabolism found that time-restricted eating, consuming all calories within an 8 to 10-hour window earlier in the day, produced significant improvements in metabolic health, blood pressure, and oxidative stress markers in adults over 60, independent of any changes to what they ate. They did not change their diet. They did not count calories. They simply moved their eating window earlier. A 2022 study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that time-restricted eating reduced visceral fat, the dangerous fat that surrounds internal organs, by significantly more than standard caloric restriction in middle-aged and older adults. And research from the Salk Institute found that maintaining a consistent 12 to 14-hour overnight fast was associated with improved sleep quality, better circadian rhythm function, and measurably lower inflammatory markers in older adults. But here is the part of the Blue Zone research that most people miss when they hear about it, and the part that matters most for adults over 60. The Blue Zone populations did not practice time-restricted eating as a diet. They practiced it as a culture. It was not a 6-week protocol. It was not an app. It was simply how their community ate, embedded in their daily rhythm for generations. The consistency is what produces the results. Research consistently shows that the benefits of time-restricted eating accumulate over months and years, not days and weeks. A 12-hour overnight fast practiced consistently for 2 years produces fundamentally different cellular outcomes than the same fast practiced for 2 weeks. This is what modern diet culture gets catastrophically wrong. It takes a pattern that works because of its cultural permanence and turns it into a temporary protocol, and then wonders why the results do not last. So what does the research actually recommend for adults over 60 who want to bring this pattern into their lives without turning it into another diet to fail? 3 specific and sustainable steps. Step 1. Identify your current eating window. What time do you typically eat your first meal or drink your first caloric beverage? What time do you typically eat your last bite of the day? The gap between those 2 times is your current eating window. For most Western adults, it is 14 to 16 hours. The Blue Zone target is 8 to 10 hours. Write those numbers down. Step 2. Move dinner 30 minutes earlier this week. Not dramatically. Not immediately. Just 30 minutes earlier than your current dinner time. Research consistently shows that abrupt changes to eating patterns are abandoned within weeks. A 30-minute shift sustained for 3 weeks creates a new default. After 3 weeks, move it another 30 minutes. Gradual shifts become permanent. Dramatic shifts become memories. Step 3. Make breakfast or lunch your largest meal, not your smallest. Every Blue Zone population front-loads their calories to the first half of the day. Research from the Obesity Society found that consuming the majority of daily calories before 3 p.m. was associated with significantly lower body weight, lower blood sugar, and better metabolic markers than consuming the same calories in the evening, even when the total calorie count was identical. Same food, same calories, different timing, completely different metabolic outcome. The Blue Zone populations are not doing anything radical. They are not eliminating food groups. They are not counting macros. They are not following a named protocol. They are eating real food, mostly plants, earlier in the day, in moderate quantities, with the people they love, and they have been doing it the same way for generations. The pattern was always there. The researchers just had to travel to 5 different countries to see it. Here's what I want you to do before you close this video. Write down the time you ate your last meal yesterday. Then write down the time you ate your first meal today. Count the hours between them. That number, whatever it is your starting point. Every hour you can add to that overnight window over the next 90 days is a step toward the pattern that researchers found in every culture on Earth that regularly lives past 90. Drop that number in the comments right now. 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever it is, and that is your baseline. And you will be surprised how many people watching this video right now have the exact same number. If this video changed the way you think about how you eat, not just what you eat, please share it with one person over 60 who has tried every diet and never been told that timing might matter more than the food itself. Every single research source cited in this video is linked in the description below. Subscribe to Reclaim 60. New health research explained in plain English every single week. The information your doctor never had time to give you. Right here. I will see you in the next one.